girls, yeah, it's a podcast. Two dope girls, yeah, we speaking all facts. Two dope girls, yeah, we got it, just relax. Two dope girls, hit like, subscribe that. Two dope girls, and we on it, never slack. Two dope girls, and we got each other back. Two dope girls, and we coming for the cash.
Two dope girls, and we all about a bag.
Gracie.
Hey, boo, what's going on?
Uh,
I am great. How are you?
Bro, I guess happy to be back in these states.
Well, I mean, if they can't see and they can't tell, they gotta know that we are being quarantined because somebody wants to go be like Stella and get her groove back and
bounce around in Mexico and things, you know.
But you know what? It was worth it. It was worth it. You look like you had a good time.
I did. I had a really good time. I went with one of my best friends and her sister and her sister's friend and their spouses, and we had a really good time. Like, it rained most of the time we were there, but even though it rained, like, I still had
It probably still was like a little sexy time, even though it rained.
Girl, it was a ball.
I'm hating.
Quarantine, and when nobody, like, y'all, we had our mask on. You too close. You too close.
They trying to live their best life in Mexico.
They weren't crying. They were.
That's okay. Well, I mean, I know you didn't put your feet in the sand for me like I asked you to, but it's okay.
Sand for you. I had a drink for you. Let me tell you.
Okay.
On your birthday, because we're gonna do that. On your birthday, me and Whitney was supposed to call you for a shot.
Yeah, and y'all ain't had nothing to drink.
Nothing. When I called you, nothing to drink because I was drunk. We were trying to sober me up so that we can get to dinner.
Well, the best way to sober yourself up, from what I heard, is to drink some more.
That's what I heard too.
Yes,
but I didn't have anything at the time. I lost a pair of Tory Burch shoes.
That was a good time.
It was a good time.
I'm glad you guys have a good time.
I know.
I'm gonna have to infiltrate next time.
No worries. We were already like planning stuff. So coronavirus, please go away. Come again. Never ever.
Never ever. Never ever ever. Ever ever.
So your birthday. How was?
It was good. We had a good time. Of course, we couldn't do much because of COVID, so we still try to keep safe. But we hung out with I always call him Little DJ. He probably hate that. Little DJ and Dr. Jamie Bell. Yeah. First of all, them two, I love Dr. Jamie.
I love her too.
I've spent a few times with her before, but not as long as we did for my birthday. But it's so cool to get to know people like and outside of their profession. But she is a good time. She's hilarious too. She's a good time.
When you first meet her, like I told you, I don't think I ever told her this, but the first time I met her, she was a little intimidating, and that wasn't a bad thing. I love intimidation because it makes me up my standard. You know what I mean? It wasn't the fact that she was like looking down on me. That wasn't
no. I don't think she's ever. Yeah, she never gives that vibe.
Right, but once I got to talking to her, she was so down to earth. She's a beautiful person inside and out.
Yeah, I don't think she will ever meet a stranger. And it's so funny because before we went out with him, me and Scoop, we always talk about like what we could ask her, like what medical questions we can ask her. And it's so funny because when they sat down and she was just like, I bet you they're gonna ask me something. She was telling DJ, she was like, I know they're gonna ask me something. We were like, we had this conversation. We knew we were gonna come into this conversation asking a medical question. And she loves to oblige us. Like, she's so cool about it.
That's good.
Yeah, but I had a good time. We hung out, we had drinks, we went hopping here, there, everywhere. I think Stu got more. I was his designated driver for real. He got more messed up than I did.
That's all right. Next week we are going to make up for it.
Yes.
Scoop asked you this weekend. So next weekend is my weekend.
Oh, and also we went to the Hive. We hung out at the Hive too. But LaBrenda wasn't there. I didn't ask for him. I just didn't think he was there. I didn't, want to bother him. But yeah, it was still chill.
Did you really like the Hive too?
When he went in there, he saw how chill it was.
Right.
And I mean, it's a cool atmosphere. But yeah, he loved it. But that was my week. I did that. Oh, I went to have a yoni steam with Ashley for my birthday.
Oh,
Yeah, so we
where?
did that.
Here, somewhere here?
Here, somewhere here, it's a black lady too. She's black owned and operated. I'm gonna have to give you her information. I don't know what I'll pay. I'm
Is she my
sorry, you
store?
guys. She might. Oh, her name is Malika.
I'm not sure. Okay.
Yeah, I
I would love
think
to.
she might be.
I was thinking
But
about. I
yeah.
think one of my sorors actually opened up a new place that caters to some of those things like IV, the oxygen,
Okay.
and
Well, I don't know if she does that, but that sounds interesting too. That
it does. I wanted to do it before, but I was actually thinking about going to Atlanta to do a yawning steam because
Me too. And I didn't know,
we
but
like
then
to keep
Ashley
her. We like to keep her together.
we have to. Anything to treat that little thing down there. We want to treat her
Yes, we
well.
like to keep her perfect.
Yes. But that was my week. That was my what let me ask you a question.
Mhm.
Have you done any holiday shopping yet?
Girl, listen. Before I left,
Mm-hmm.
I had to do something online. I never go in the stores.
Mm-mm.
COVID-19 had nothing to do with my shopping this year because I never go into stores.
Right.
But if you come to my house, the entire front foyer is filled with boxes. Like you're like, oops, excuse me, oop, let me step over
You
this.
ain't even did you even wrap them yet?
No, I know the kids probably like, ooh, there ain't no Santa. It ain't mommy and daddy.
Oh, I see that scooter that I wanted. Ain't
I
no
got back
surprise over here.
I got
Y'all
back from
just can't.
Mexico and I was like, are you serious? Like nobody thought to hide anything that came in? Okay.
Ain't no secret no more.
Yeah,
I'm
Parker
Santa.
already be trying to mama see was trying to catch me in a lie about Santa Claus. I'm like, girl,
Like
just
I dare
enjoy
you.
being a
I dare
child.
you.
Yes. I said, don't you ever in front of Paisley. Paisley's gonna know that there's a Santa Claus.
I see. I ain't never let Warren ascribe to that. I'm sorry. It just.
I want
I
my
just
baby to
I
have
didn't feel
all
like a
the
good parent if I let him know Santa was real.
girl, we do cookies and milk.
That's so
And then me and
sweet.
Sean go eat the cookies and drink the milk. Like, no, I want them to have every piece of their childhood because it's going to be
That's
taken
sweet.
so quickly.
It will be, but ain't no fat jolly Saint Nick over here. I
You the
bought
fat
this.
jolly Saint Nick in
I
the
bought
little
this.
skinny little.
Ho ho ho, nigga. This for you.
Have you done anything?
No, I know what I want to get Warren. And I do like to now I've started wanting to cater my gifts towards them because Warren before, of course, I would cater my gifts towards him because he was younger. But as he
Mhm.
got older, he's just like, Mom, just give me money. But
Yeah.
now I do want to give him something that he's gonna be surprised about getting.
Aw.
And Scoot, I really wasn't gonna buy him nothing this year. It was
So
gonna be a quiet Christmas in this
a quiet
household.
Christmas. Like I don't know what I would get Sean. I kind of have a idea of what I would get him, but
Hmm.
honestly, I don't really have to have anything for Christmas.
Me either. I
Now, if
want something.
I do, I want something, but I'm not tripping, if you don't get me anything.
Right.
But like you cannot miss Valentine's Day and my birthday. Like those are like you must not want to be married no more if you miss
We don't care about Jesus right here, right now. The gifts go to him.
right,
But for
right.
Valentine's Day and my birthday, that's it.
It's all about me. Period. Yep.
Honestly, I've really never been that big into Valentine's Day.
Girl. Oh.
Are
And I
you a
want to
Valentine's Day freak?
oh my God, I love Valentine's Day.
Really?
I do.
That's sweet because
You
you're the
know,
hopeless romantic.
I
I am too, but I just, Valentine's Day doesn't, I don't know. Like, I could take it or leave it. I still want
yeah,
something though.
yeah, and for me to love Valentine's Day so much, you would
Hmm.
think I had somebody that was just like super dope at giving gifts or super thoughtful. No,
Be
I guess
like
this is my
Envy, how
whole
he give gifts to his wife Gia.
girl. Did you see what he said about potatoes? I love that. Potatoes. She She
They're
got me
cute
wanting to
though.
get potatoes. But did you see how he said he sent her a picture butt naked with the potato canister over his junk? I said envy.
That sound like him.
I
I've
know
been
she.
listening to them for so long. I just feel
I
like
know.
I know them.
I know. I love
Hmm.
Gia though.
I
Is it
do.
Gia or Gia?
Gia, Gia.
Gia. Gia. Yeah,
Hmm.
I like her.
Gia.
I like her.
I like them. I love how they're so transparent in their relationship
Mhm.
that I remember when I was listening to the Breakfast Club, I literally remember hearing him crying on the radio
Liking. Oh my God. I had to
when
find out
he
who this woman was that made him like
yeah,
really that's now that's sorry.
he
And we
said, I'm
ain't
about to risk it all. I don't even care. Pride aside, I'm about to lose my wife. This
my
is it.
family, because you know they
My
got 18
family.
children.
I think at that time they only had the two. I think at
Oh,
the
I thought
time
they had
they
more than that. I think
they
I
have
know now
five
they have like four,
now, but
five.
this was
I thought
so
they had like
long
three.
ago. That they have five now. They have like three little ones, and the oldest one, Madison, her and Warren have the same birthday. That's how I know, and they're the same
Yeah.
age.
I
And
thought
they
they
have
had
the little
one little one
boy.
at the time though.
Oh,
I
I
think
don't know. They could have.
yeah,
They could have.
I thought so, but I could be wrong. But I definitely remember
I
that time
remember
that he
that.
got on Breakfast Club, and now that was an apology.
You think Sean would get on the radio and be
Absolutely
like,
not. I guess I don't mean that much.
I mean, but given that's Envy's job, so considering that it's his job to be on the radio, he was at work confessing his love, professing his
Yes,
love, but it just so happened to be in front of, millions of
millions and
viewers.
millions of viewers here. I'm sure
He ain't doing it.
we're gonna keep it real. You gotta know your man.
You gotta know your man, child. He ain't never
That's,
lying.
that is it. And it's so crazy that you like you talk about Gia and Envy. Oh
Uh-huh.
no, Rashawn. Is it
Rashawn.
I like she said Rashawn. But anyways, um Tisha Campbell came out in an article and said that she had only $7 to her name when she got divorced from Dwayne. Is it Dwayne Martin?
Dwayne
Campbell
Martin.
Martin?
Dwayne Campbell Martin. I don't
Something like that.
know.
But him. It already put a bad taste in my mouth because you remember when we were listening to Lisa Ray talk about her ex-husband and how they were best friends and how he was really one of the reasons why
Right.
they didn't make
Mm-hmm.
it. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
ugh. So it's no telling really what she was dealing with. The reason that she allowed herself to leave with $7.
But is that seven Hollywood dollars or is that like seven actual dollars? Because the Hollywood dollars, I got money elsewhere, but I'm just telling you, I got $7. What you think?
This lady is a legend in the Black
She
community.
is.
I don't like she's really downplayed actress wise. She
Mm-hmm.
has been in, I mean, we can go back to school days.
Yes.
She goes all the way back. She is in some of my favorite sitcoms. Martin, my wife
I
and
mean,
kids, my wife and kids.
my wife and kid, love my wife and kids. Me and Warren used to always watch that. I love, 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 love that show.
Love the
And
sitcom.
it's like so ageless and
It
timeless, just
is.
like the
I
Cosby's.
watched it yesterday.
Mhm.
So, like, I mean, for her to have so much success in Hollywood and to leave with $7, whether it had been $7 Hollywood or $7 left in her pocket, and she had three kids,
But
three
what you
boys.
think about Vivica saying that she should have had a prenuptial agreement or at least a postnuptial agreement because they were already married? But if you know that your marriage is not going in the right direction and you have all of these assets at stake, it's time for us to reevaluate our original agreement, and we're going to go ahead and try to get this postnuptial.
I definitely agree with Vivica, but you can tell Vivica is very business minded. She's never going to be that hopeless romantic woman. She may want intimacy, she may want to have a partner, but her money is first. her career.
I was about to say, like, how do you separate that when you're in that lifestyle? Like, you have to put your business and your assets ahead of what you don't know if somebody is really genuine about you or not.
But I really think that Tisha was more so ignorant to the fact of that's something that she needed to do. Beyond love, you
Mm-hmm.
have to make sure that you protect yourself and your children. Even though they didn't have children before they got married, once the children came along, like you said, even when they started to have issues and you're making all this money, he's making all this money, like protect yourself. Even though people, we get married, we think it's forever, but crap happens. Like
It
it happened.
happens.
Yeah.
It
So
absolutely happens.
he definitely should have gotten a prenuptial agreement, postnuptial agreement, whichever one, um but she didn't. And it makes me really look at the situation, how Black women, we really can have a smile on our face while we're going through the valley. Like you
Which
would
is true.
never know what we're going through by looking at us.
But should people know what we're going through by looking at us? Because I wouldn't want to know. I wouldn't want people to
No,
know what I'm going through by looking at me. But it's also, I understand what you're saying, because sometimes we don't have that outlet and we don't know who to trust, especially someone like that who's in that business. It's like,
that
who do I trust to say anything to?
who do I
And I
trust
have to internalize that.
exactly to give me advice on how to handle myself? Because if she ever had shown that type of distress,
Mhm.
then I'm sure she would have gotten the best advice possible for her finances to make sure. But um, like they said on Queens of Cocktail, she has now bounced back like better than ever. Loves
Mhm.
in everything she does. Like the amount of energy she brings to every role is ridiculous.
Like, she's
Um,
still a teeny bopper out here in these
yes,
streets.
yes, but
Mhm.
the fact that she said that she don't think she would ever get married again, like she's happy being single, it makes you think like, what in the hell was he doing that made her want to leave with $7 to remain,
Because she
to
wanted
have
her peace more
peace,
than anything.
right, to maintain some peace in her life,
Mm-hmm.
and B, girl,
Just leave.
what?
Well, no,
Just leave, just leave.
that's when you know you fed up. You're like, fuck that money. I don't need you. I don't
F
want
it.
you. Bye
Mhm.
bye. Let me go.
Bye.
I'll figure it out. I'll learn how to pick up the pieces. That
Yeah,
really mean you have to be like a real messed up
right,
individual.
right, girl. B is
She done had it.
she didn't had it, and the fact that she didn't want to get married ever again is like he really had to do something effed up, and I'll never look at old Dwayne the same ever again.
But you know what? I don't know if I would ever say, I don't, like, if I were to go through a terrible marriage, I don't know if I would ever say I don't ever want to get married again because of that terrible marriage.
I'm a hopeless romantic, so I'm always going to have hope for
Right.
love.
Mm-hmm.
Whether I found it with the person I'm with, or if that didn't work out, whether I find it with someone else, I'm
Right.
always going to have a hope for love. So I would never say that I wouldn't marry again.
Me
If
either.
that ever came, hopefully, of course, we don't think about divorce when you get married,
Right.
but statistically, it's a thought now. Because
It happens.
it happens now. It's more prevalent than ever. My parents have been together for 42 years, 43 years.
And that's a
So
blessing.
it is,
Ooh,
but those things just don't happen anymore.
it don't. And Lord knows we don't know what they've had to endure in those 42, 43 years.
Girl.
I'm sure a lot of us probably would, you could keep
Been
that
left,
married life.
been left.
That ain't, it ain't, it ain't
Differ, take the ring, the house, the dog, the picket fence,
I'm
the
gonna leave with
kids.
my $7. Goodbye.
Ah,
Keep them goddamn dogs. They're expensive
keep,
anyway.
keep them goddamn kids. Oh, give me my kids. Give me my kids.
I want
Girl,
my
yes.
dogs. I'm gonna miss them. They're gonna miss me. Shit.
I know, I know. I'm gonna miss my baby, especially mine, girl. Since I've been back from Mexico, Paige is like hanging on to one foot. You remember I was talking to you the other day, like they were following me up and down the steps.
I was getting vertigo. I was like, girl, sit down.
I can't. They're gonna be all up in my conversation, all up in no
It's so
rest for the
silly.
weary, child.
No rest for the weary. All right, we're gonna move past Tisha Campbell Martin. Is it Tisha Campbell Martin?
I think so. Martin is it got to
Martin.
be because
So what's his name? His name is Dwayne
it's
Martin. Okay.
Martin. So Tisha Campbell Martin. Girl, 2020 has been
BITCH
times 10. Like the people that we have lost is ridiculous. But in this last week, we definitely lost two legends,
and two icons in the Black community.
Debo. Is it Lester?
Lester Tiny. His nickname is Tiny.
Tiny, right? Irony.
Yeah. And Natalie Reed. I think her name is Natalie the Cell Reed.
Yep. Now
Babs,
Debo,
Mrs. Babs.
Girl, that's my favorite. My absolute favorite movie in the entire world. Like I know it from the beginning to the end. That's my girl. That's oh yeah. That's my y'all. Let me come back.
Come back.
Yeah. Debo, of course, is best known for Next Friday. He was the occasional wrestler. He was in a couple of different like sitcoms.
He popped in here and there in a few sitcoms. I can't put my finger on it, but for sure I remember him popping up here and there in a few sitcoms. But Friday, he's the iconic figure. Debo. That couldn't never be ever erased ever.
I loved him in Friday. I love Friday. I love Next Friday. Natalie Reed. She was in Babs. She was in Set It Off. She was in How to Be a Player.
Yes.
She was in Cinderella with Brandy.
She sure was.
She was in Medea's Big Happy Family with she didn't get along with the sister.
I vaguely remember her in Set It Off, but I knew she was in Set It Off. But I really, really loved her in on Eve. I love watching Eve because we had talked about watching Eve. It was really good in all her roles.
So just two iconic amongst a host of other iconic figures that have passed on in 2020. We just, my condolences definitely go
to the family for sure,
and their friends and the people that they've worked with, their peers. I know it has to be difficult. Dang, what's the girl? The one that always has the little tooth in, Jazzy, the comedian that's on IG. Super pretty, got a banging body, but she's super funny. They did a remake of Babs.
Did they?
Yes, I'm gonna have to send that to you. It was super cute, and she kind of like put a little snippet out, and said her piece, and it was It's
special how each individual touched people in our community. You know what I'm saying? So I thought that was super dope.
In our generation, because when we were looking at them, we were young. I was hella young watching Babs.
Me too. Didn't know what I was watching.
Right. God, loved it though. Loved everything about it. I
love the open face fronts. That's what I love. I was like, ooh, that's so ghetto. I love it.
Love it. So good.
Love it.
I love it. Yeah. So
but yes, condolences. Yes, for sure. Yeah. Condolences and rest in peace to both of them.
Yeah.
Okay, so the verses, Keisha Cole and Ashanti.
I know.
Who you got?
This is gonna be a good one.
It is gonna be a good one.
I'm more of a Ashanti fan. Who are you going for?
I do like Ashanti. I like Keisha Cole too, cause you need to get.
She ready.
Huh? Yeah, she is. I don't know. I like both. I don't know. Foolish. Ashanti got me with Foolish. She got me Rain on Me. Yes.
With Lorenzo Take Sexy.
Yes. Baby.
I felt it in my heart when she said when she was like, he's like a lighter to my cigarette. I was like, yeah,
Don't even smoke, but yes.
don't even smoke.
He like the lighter to my cigarette. But yeah, I don't know. I honestly, I think, dang, I think Ashanti might take it. I think Ashanti might take it. I
And
love
she
Keisha
honestly
Cole.
have more hits than Keisha Cole.
She
But
does.
I mean, Keisha Cole was such a realist. Um, she was so people can relate to her, relatable
She said, I
to a
changed
lot
my
of people.
mind. I don't love you no more.
Girl,
Changed
heaven
it.
sent, or
Sent
I should
from
have
heaven.
cheated. Yeah,
Yes.
she was really relatable to a lot of people. So I
Yeah. She
think
said I should have lied. I should have went out to the club.
she should have. Hell, if he was doing all that, she should have had
Should
fun.
have.
Should have could have water.
Did it.
But yes, girl. So I think I'm going for Ashanti.
I'm gonna go with Ashanti too.
Yeah. So we'll see tonight. Y'all make sure y'all tune in. Versus probably gonna be kind of lit. I don't know if it's gonna be lit as Gucci and Jeezy.
No, by the time y'all listen to this anyway, it is gonna be over. But we still want to hear y'all reaction to it because I
Oh
want to know
yeah,
who y'all got. Who
yeah.
y'all
Who
got?
you going with? Who you going with?
Okay, so look, we're gonna do this game with you guys because we switched up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Normally we do the game in the beginning, but our game has to coincide with our topic today. Our topic is LaDonna, would we date ourselves?
I would date myself. How about you, girl?
We'll talk about it. Let's get into this game first. Okay,
Okay.
so I just pulled up this game from the internet and I just wanted to see, like, are we dateable?
Yeah.
So we're gonna ask each other the same questions and then we're gonna go through it and then we're gonna see what who scores what.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so LaDonna, you wanna go first with the question?
Sure. Who should pay at the end of the date? Okay, we have I always do. I expect my date to. I expect my date to at least a few times. First few times, it should always be 50-50. Each person should pay for what they got. It should be reflective of individuals' income. I always offer to pay whichever way they like, but I'd hope that my date would pay. The person
Okay.
did the asking out should pay. That's a good one. That's a good
That
question.
is a good question. So I know that was a lot of responses, but you guys get the drift. So what would be your response? Who
Okay,
should pay at the end of the date?
my response would probably be I expect my date to at least the first few times. I'm not saying that I would never pay.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to be courted. I feel like the man, if he's a real true man,
Yes.
he will want to wine and dine me. Or yeah, you don't have to, you do. Wine and dine me.
Yes.
And just first few times. And then I'm gonna pop up and surprise you and be like, baby, this is on me.
Okay, so you're gonna select what you selected,
Okay.
but
What
I'm
would
gonna
you do?
select. I expect my date to.
Okay.
I do. Not to say that I would never pay for a date,
Right.
but I already told you that I do believe in some gender roles, and I do believe that a man is always supposed to take care of the date. That's not to say I will not be like, I got this, because there have been plenty of times that I got this. Don't
Okay.
worry, but just don't expect me to.
Exactly.
That's just how I feel. I'm sorry if you don't. Okay, so the next one is, how would you feel dating someone far more successful than you? And far is kind of like in quotes. So it's like whatever you feel like
It's
is
for
more successful to you.
right.
Okay, so the options are incredibly proud. I would feel proud, but secretly just a tiny bit insecure, though I would never tell them or make them feel bad about it. I would hate that. I want to feel, what does it say? Wait, I want to
On
feel
par
on
with my
par
partner.
with my partner. The other option is I would hate that. I would feel like the main provider. And the other option is I would not care. So how would you feel about dating someone that is way more successful than you?
It's between incredibly proud and I would care. I mean, just think if I'm dating a NFL or I don't like NFL posts, but a NBA player, I will be like, oh, that's bae. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with incredibly proud.
Okay, so I'm picking incredibly proud too because everybody measures success at a different
Yeah.
level. So me, I can be like just super incredibly proud because you've, I don't know,
So
you just
yeah,
whatever made you happy.
but in essence, I'm incredibly proud, but I'm going to feel like you felt enough of me to take me on this journey with you.
Right.
So that's going to make
Yes.
me want to continue to support and push you even further.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Okay, so do you expect your partner to groom their private bits in a specific way? Okay, no, I honestly do not care.
Hmm.
No, I would never expect my partner to or ask them to, though I appreciate it if they do. I have preferences, but I would never voice them because I wouldn't want my partner to feel pressured in any way. I
Uh-huh.
have preferences and I would voice them, but I wouldn't expect my partner to adhere to them if they didn't want to. I have preferences and I would voice them. If my partner doesn't adhere to them, that's fine. But it would affect our sex life and the sexual acts that I would be willing to perform. I have preferences and I would want and expect my partner to take them into account.
Okay,
What you
so
prefer?
okay, I was gonna ask you, but I'm gonna say honestly, if I'm speaking honestly, I'm gonna say I have preferences and I would voice them if my partner doesn't adhere to them, that's fine, but it would affect our sex lives and the sexual acts I would be willing to perform on them. That's it.
This it. Next.
Okay, so I'm assuming you would say the same.
The same thing. I mean, I'm not going to make you do it, but don't think you're going to
Right.
have a whole bush down there and I'm just going to, migrate. No, I'm going to stop. Right. I don't want to pick nothing out my teeth. Listen, I was listening to the dummies and those fools was talking about a landing strip. Girl,
First of all, why would you, how is this a new terminology to you? I'm just
you
trying to figure
never
it
heard about a landing strip. First of all, I think it's not cute, but that's just me.
I think it's, I don't like it either. It
Some
looks
people say
very porn
it's scary.
starish,
It is porn
like
star.
retro porn starish, not even like 2020 or let's say 2018, 2019. We don't want 2020.
Right.
But yeah,
No.
sir, you need to get it together. You need to learn your, at least pretend like you know what it means. Okay, so I'm gonna go to the next one. Your partner wants you to go with them to an event you really, really don't want to go to. What do you do? I say I don't want to go and I don't go. I say I want to go, but I do anyway because it's so important to them. I voice my opinion and I do go, but I expect something in return. I go and I do my best and enjoy myself. And I doubt there will be something I wouldn't want to go to.
Hmm. My partner wants to go to an event and I really, really don't want to go.
You don't want to. What do you do?
Okay. I think I will go because relationships are about sacrifice. I'm sure I'm gonna ask
Absolutely.
him to go somewhere that he doesn't want to go. So I
Okay.
would definitely go and just try to enjoy myself the best of my ability.
That was my same thing. I'm gonna go because you never know what time you're gonna have either. Because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you may not even want to go to a certain event, and you're like, as soon as you get there, you're like, man, I'm so happy I went because I made this connection and I made that connection. So yeah, I'll go anyway because I feel like I'm gonna have a good time anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see.
I think this is the last one, is it? Maybe, I don't know. We'll see.
It's your partner's birthday in a week, and you have no idea what to get them. What do you do? That would never happen. I'm fantastic at both gift giving and planning. I would ask a close friend or family member of theirs what to give them. I would go to a store and ask the sales assistant what I should get them. I would just buy them the most expensive thing I can. I would take them out somewhere or plan an event. I would get them a gift card. If I am being really truly honest with myself, I probably wouldn't remember it until it's just too late. Um, I'm not fantastic at gift giving, but I am really thoughtful. So I'm
Mhm.
always going to think about how I can make a person smile. So
I'm gonna tell you, I'm just gonna say I would take them out somewhere and plan an event.
mhm,
And it could just be an event with just us two or just
yeah,
friends
yeah,
because I just know that's what he would like. He just
yeah.
likes being out and just experiencing time with friends or just with us too. So
I think that's something that I would do as well because I really don't ask close friends or families about or family members about what to.
yeah, like you should know your partner enough to
Yeah,
know.
I'm kind of like pretty cool with that. So I would take them out somewhere or plan an event.
Okay, this next one is kind of stupid, but it says your partner has cooked you dinner. What do you do? Eat it, obviously, duh. Eat it and make an effort to genuinely thank them. Eat it, thank them, and do the dishes. I probably wouldn't eat it because they're an awful cook.
That is hilarious. If my partner cooked dinner, I would definitely eat it, thank them, and do the dishes.
Yes, I would definitely eat it, thank them, and do the dishes. But knowing me, I would probably be cleaning up after him
Wow,
while
them,
he's cooking
you
because
better
he
set
cross
me all day.
contaminates, and I'm just like, I can't do it. I just can't
Yeah.
do it.
Yes. How often do you compliment your partner? I make a conscious effort to do so every day. I do so whenever I feel compelled to, which is often. I do so whenever I feel compelled to, and when I think they need to hear it. I probably don't do it enough. I think I do so whenever I feel compelled to, and when I think they need to hear it, because life gets so, you know, it's just a lot.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
sometimes you just forget to slow down and do some of the necessary things. So when I
yeah,
definitely feel like, man, he really put a little effort into what he has on, or, he looks like he had a stressful day. I want to make sure, like, hey, I'm so proud of you. You're doing a great job.
yeah,
Um, I just thank you for taking care of us. That's the
yeah.
type of person I am.
Yeah,
I do
me
do
too.
that.
Me too. But I do so whenever I feel compelled to, which is often
Hmm.
because I mean, we still work in the same capacity. We are in the
Right.
house in the same capacity. So it's like I do see him often, but I just put a little bit more loving on to the things that I do or say to
Right.
him. So
Mhm.
just so
Yeah.
he feels good. Okay. If you had to choose just one thing, what's the most important quality in a partner? Emotional support, good prospects, interesting conversation, good looks, or a devotion to me?
Can I pick all five?
Well, no, just the most important. Of course, we want to pick all five.
I think emotional support.
I'll pick the same thing.
Yeah.
I think that goes without saying.
Yeah. How do you choose that movie to watch or music to listen to? I generally choose it. They generally choose it. We have a system where each person gets to make a decision an equal amount of time. We always find a compromise. I really don't care.
We always find a compromise.
Um, they generally choose it.
Really?
Yeah, I'm totally a girl's girl. Like I like you said, the gender role is super
Yeah.
dope to me. Like I like
Yeah.
for my man to be a man, but I also had to learn that, coming from being not we talked about coming from being a girlfriend to a wife. Like
Right.
I had to learn how to allow my man to be a man. But now that I've been there for a while in the relationship for a long time, I have definitely learned how to let kind of shine lead. And if he want to listen to a certain music, he listens to it, he puts it
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
always say, hey, find a movie. Yes.
Yeah.
So for me,
That
it's going to be they generally choose it.
Yeah. Well, we always find a compromise, but I mean, normally it's something that we both want to
Hmm.
watch. So whatever.
He does really good with stuff like that. So I just let
Yeah.
him take it.
Okay, would you ever snoop through your partner's phone? Yes, if I got the chance. Yes, but only if I thought they were cheating. Maybe if I had my suspicions, but I would never specifically seek the opportunity to do so. Or no, even if I thought they may be unfaithful.
That's a hard one for me because like, I'm not gonna put that much effort into finding out that you cheat. I'm just not gonna put that much effort into it.
Right,
But I
right.
will say maybe if I had my suspicions, because I have before. I'll say
Yeah.
that.
I put no, even if I thought they may be unfaithful.
Yeah.
I just, I don't know. I just don't want to, because I know me, if I go snoop through that and if I see something and then it may be something and it may not be anything, and then I'll just go off on the handle. I don't want to do that.
Right.
I don't do that.
You
So,
have a sexual fantasy that you've expressed to your partner, and they've stated that it's not something that they would want to do. How do you react? I'm gonna say that again because I feel like how you have a sexual fantasy that you've expressed to your partner, and they've stated that it's not something they would want to do. How do you react? I would be disappointed, but I wouldn't hold it against them or bring it up again, as I wouldn't want them to feel uncomfortable. I would be disappointed, and I may bring it up again just to see if they'll reconsider. This would be a deal breaker for me. I would expect them to do it anyway. I would be disappointed, but I wouldn't hold it against them or bring it up again. As now that's a difficult question because you not doing oral sex to me is a deal breaker. Like that's a deal breaker. Don't want me to go down on you, but you don't want to. Like that'd be a deal breaker. But for this game, I'm just gonna put I would be disappointed. What's yours?
wait. There's two. I would be disappointed. So which one?
No, I just said I would be disappointed. That's the one I'm gonna do.
Okay, I would be disappointed, and
Oh,
I
it's
may.
two of them, but I wouldn't hold it against you.
Okay,
Hmm. I wouldn't bring it
but
up again. But just know certain things are deal breakers.
I can't even get it out. Okay, so I would be disappointed, and I may bring it up again just to see if you may reconsider, because as time goes on, you may
Yeah,
want
you
to
can.
change your mind and maybe like, what? I want to try that thing that you say you wanted to do
Hmm.
not too long ago.
Hmm. When should you tell someone that you love them? Oh, that's a good one. When should you
Uh-huh.
tell someone you love them? As soon as you feel it, after a certain period of time, so as not to freak them out or to rush into anything. Only after they say it, and if you feel it too, after they say it. I'm a hopeless romantic, so of course it's as soon as I feel it.
I'm the same way. As soon as I feel it, I want to,
I
I'm
ain't
going to tell you.
the
So, whatever. Okay. What's the best way to deal with an argument? Fight it out fairly until you come to a solution, even if it's not the solution you want. Avoid each other or sex.
all three.
I would say all three too, but you can't avoid each other and have sex. You can fight
Oh,
it out through sex.
yeah. I
But
mean,
I don't want to avoid you
hate
through sex.
argument. Yeah, I hate argument.
Me too. Me
So,
too.
but I mean, you have to fight it out fairly. So
You do.
I'm gonna go with that one.
I'm gonna go with that one as well. Okay,
So where
so
did she get? This
how
is
dateable are you?
how dateable are you, Grace? Let's see.
I am, oh, CNN. I am 81% dateable.
And I am
How are you
84%
84% dateable?
dateable. We
So
definitely not
we're pretty
100%
dateable.
dateable.
We're pretty dateable.
Yeah, he said you're a bloody catch. Okay,
A
I like
bloody catch.
that was cute.
Okay.
I like that. I like that quiz. That was cute and it was different. That was
Yes.
dope.
So
But
that
it
was a
definitely
little game.
yeah, it definitely ties into our topic, which is dating yourself, which is so important.
You
You
think
know,
so?
yeah, it's so important because a lot of women we don't like to explore singledom. We don't like to enjoy singledom. We think it's almost like
Shit.
a punishment.
You think so?
No, I said women.
A lot of women think, you think a lot of women think
Yeah, they think
singledom
it's a
is a
punishment.
punishment.
Like, I think they long for these relationships, you know, that
Yeah.
intimacy. They long for just a companion.
Yeah.
And we forget that embracing singledom is going to only be amazing for us in the long run.
Embracing singledom as well, but if you're embracing singledom and if you're embracing yourself, would you really date who you are now, or would you do you feel like there are things that you would want to work on yourself before you date yourself? Or if you date yourself, that you would see what's wrong, or not what's wrong, but quote unquote what's wrong with you. You see what I'm saying?
Um, so coming from somebody that didn't necessarily get to enjoy being single,
Mm-hmm.
knowing the me now, I would definitely date me now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, 10 years ago, I didn't know who I was. Like, I was coming out of college. I didn't know the things that I liked. I didn't know
Yeah.
how I wanted to be treated. I didn't know things that were deal breakers at the time that may be deal breakers now. Um,
That's a
it's
good one
just,
right there. That deal
I'm,
breaker one. That's a
yeah,
good one.
I'm just,
Mm-hmm.
my standards are totally different. My expectations are totally different as to how I want to be treated from a relationship, whether it's a intimate relationship or a friend relationship.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You are absolutely correct. Like, would I date myself 10 years ago? I don't know. I would second guess that. Would I date myself now? Yes.
Right, right, right.
Because I know the level of maturation that I've achieved. Like,
Mhm.
I know that I've worked on myself. I know that I'm continuing to work on myself and do the things that I need to do to progress as a person. So
Mhm.
yes, I would date myself now.
Yeah, and
So
I think embracing singledom, I can only imagine would be difficult, especially when you long for that intimacy, you long
mhm.
for that reciprocation of love, you desire to have a family, you desire to have a life partner. But knowing what I know now, that is most important, it's the most important season of your life.
Yeah.
And we don't think about that. Like, it's that time to ask yourself those difficult questions. Like, it's the time to figure out who you are. What's your identity? What do you want out of life? How do you want to be treated? How do you want to be dated? What are your standards? You know, like, what are you willing to sacrifice? What makes you tick? What
So
it's really important to that you be in control of your life. Like, it minimizes another person being able to take your power. I
mhm.
feel like we allow people, um, we give people control, which can they can start to place their insecurities on us, and which in turn will make us insecure. But check this out.
What's up?
If we knew who we were before we got into a relationship,
Mhm.
then we can foresee those insecurities when they're being placed on us.
Yeah.
And we won't allow that baggage to play a part in our life or play a part in our mental, and and can bring us all type of insecurities, all type of depression.
Right, but that's not to say that once you get to that point too, where you recognize those insecurities,
Mhm.
that you can't just be done with whatever situation that you're in that you don't want to be in.
Yeah.
So, like, you don't have to get it right the first time. You don't have to
Right,
recognize them in your 20s, because I can guarantee you, I am 37 and I just started recognizing them.
right, right.
So,
But I do think that if I had a chance to be single, a long time ago, then I would have been able to identify some of my weaknesses.
Yeah.
Therefore, if somebody tries to place some of their weaknesses on me, I
You
would be
know
able to
better.
go,
Yeah. We're not doing that.
we're not doing that. I'm not going to allow
You
you to
need
put,
to address that. Like we can talk about it.
yes.
Uh-huh.
You need to go get some help, because what you're not going to do is place your insecurities. You're not
Upon
going to try
me.
to control me. You're not going to try
Yeah.
to embed these securities in my in my mentality and have me thinking all crazy thoughts about myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
Yeah, like girl, we I was listening to Sarah Jakes,
Mm-hmm.
and she came on live, I think it may have been yesterday, but she was talking about the Women Evolve book club. And she said something that really stuck out to me. She was like, we are so used to performing and living up to other people's expectations that
Mm-hmm.
we don't know where to begin to show up in our own truth. I said, lady, you said when you said that. Because if you really go deep and you really think about it, like we really be putting on for our city. You know what I mean? Like, because you don't really know yourself. It takes time to
It
figure
does
out.
take time to figure out yourself. I absolutely get that. And some get it before others.
Mm-hmm.
But I can tell you that I've reached that point a while ago, only because I had to grow up a little faster than most of my peers.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I had to realize and recognize that I don't have to put on for anybody else. Like
Mm-hmm.
this is my life. I have to live it for me. Like I cannot live it for John, Susie, Sally, Tom, Dick, and Harry, or keep up with the Joneses, as like people like to say, because I mean, I can't do that. At the end of my life, I want to know that I've had fun. I want to know that I've explored. I want to know that I've experienced. I want to know that I've made friendships
Right. Right.
and traveled along the way. So these are the things that I cherish and that I've learned early to cherish. So
And I think that has a lot to do with, once you find out, or once you get to know yourself a little bit more, those important um that important season in your life, you make sure you have control over your mental,
mhm.
spiritual, physical aspects of who you are.
Your
Yes.
emotional being, absolutely, because it's so funny because when I would talk to women my age now, when I was younger, you would think like this old girl don't know nothing. These
Don't
are
know nothing. Now we like, Lord, if we
I
would have listened,
wish.
life would probably have been just a little
Yes.
better for us.
Yes, just a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I would call my mom and I would let her know, sometimes I'm like, okay, I get it.
Do
I
you think
understand.
women our age are uncomfortable with knowing themselves, like, and
Yeah, I
uncomfortable with
do.
loving
I
themselves to
do.
its entirety? Like, why? I wonder what's the issue
What
with,
brings on that insecurity? I
yes,
don't
like,
know.
why are we, do you think it's society?
Comparing one with
Yes, social
another.
media has a lot to do with that.
It's like, okay, well, look at you and then look at me. Oh, well, look at your smile and look at your smile and look at your
Right.
face and look at
Look
your
at your
breasts.
booty. Look at your waist.
Yeah. So it's like you're
It's,
always comparing,
yeah, that's
and
true.
it's like you don't want to. Honestly, I've never, even when it comes to people that I've dated before, I've never looked at people like from the physical aspect. It was always like who you are as a
Yeah.
person. Like I
Yeah.
always connected with that. So when people judge people by like the way they look, and I'm like, oh well, why would you hang out with them because they look like that? And I'm like, who would say such a thing?
Right.
Who would say
Right.
such a thing? Like I connect with people, I connect with your energy. So I don't. That's just my assumption. I don't know.
Physical attributes are only going to take you so far.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
So
So
after,
how do you date yourself? Like what does that look like for you?
I have to give, of course, hypothetically, because I never had a chance to actually date myself. So when I think about if I was
in my singles, if I was in a single season, then dating myself would really be getting to know me and the things that I like, the things that I want, you know, as far as what does LaDonna want in life? Like a year from now, what do you want? 5 years from now, what do you want? Like, what are you not willing to come off of? Like, what are your standards? Like, what is it? What you was about to say? I'm sorry.
Do you think you can date yourself even though you're in a relationship? Do you think you can still set these standards and these boundaries for yourself while you're with someone?
People like me definitely have to find that balance, because if you still trying to find your identity, trying to find, you know, the things that are making you happy, because like I said earlier, people can disappoint you. So you have to put trust in first God, then yourself. Right. So absolutely, you have to, people like me have to figure out how to date themselves within a relationship, within a marriage. And sometimes that is meditation, spending time with yourself. I think I talked to you that day I went to out to eat by myself. I sat at the bar and I was just there by myself. I got a drink. I looked around. I people watched. I did, and I was just peaceful. I was peaceful.
I was about to say, for me, that is like so cathartic. It just gives me so much pleasure. Before, when I was younger, I would never, ever, ever. I thought you would be crazy to go sit by yourself at a bar with no company and just talk to strangers. Are you kidding me?
Oh, but
now, but maturity, it will definitely like put things into perspective. Like, I don't have to feel insecure because I'm at the bar by myself and people think, oh my God, like nobody wants her. Yeah, she's lame because like she's at the bar by herself. No, I want some peace. If you want to come join this,
yes,
my little bubble or my aura, you know, invite yourself in. I can say yay or nay, but I didn't have that perspective when I was younger. And I really wish that I had that perspective when I was younger. I really wish that I knew what it was like to date yourself, to set your standards, your hard nose. And like, because I know when I was younger, I was so passive. So like, if you did something that I didn't like, if it didn't bother me that much, I would be passive about it. Now I'm going to say, hey, look, I don't like that. So for me, dating myself 10 years ago, 15 years ago was a no-go.
And you know what? We didn't know anything about dating ourselves in our early 20s. Like, is that just now being a thing? You know what I mean? Like, I never heard of that in my early 20s, being able to date myself, like getting to know
who
me
you are
from the inside out.
Right.
Like, because sometimes you can be in a relationship for so long and it can overtake everything, overtake you as a person, and then you not know what to do with yourself. You become depressed when you get out of that relationship. It's like, how do you pick yourself up? How do you figure out how do you figure out how to live your life without that person? That's difficult if you never figured out you.
It is absolutely, yes. Yeah.
Right. It's like, how do you know, I have a friend and she was in a relationship for a really long time. And she was telling me that when she became single, when people would be like, oh, so what do you want to do? What do you like to do? I mean, when me and that person was together, it's just like
everything you like to do was attached to what that other person likes to do. It was never what you wanted to do, because you don't know how to be independent of someone else. So you attach yourself to the last person that you were with, instead of being like, well, Grace, like to do picnics in the park for the 12,000th time. I mean, I love to do that, but I don't like to do that with the person that I'm with, because that was our thing. Yeah, and they don't like that, right? So I totally get that.
I think that comes with, I can't sit here and say, okay, this is how you get to know yourself. No, it really takes like being in your own thoughts. You may be like, I would never go to a movie by myself. And then all of a sudden, one day, what? I really want to go see that movie, but I sure don't have nobody to go see it with. And end up going and absolutely love sitting in the movie by yourself, snuggled up with your own popcorn, nobody else hand in your popcorn. Like, you never know what you like. You try it until you put in that space to have to jump off the bridge and figure it out yourself.
And you know what? That's something that I still kind of struggle with now. Mm-hmm. Honestly, I do, because I had a child when I was young. So I was always, or he was always attached to me. So that relationship is like, it's separated because he's an adult and he's doing his own thing. But then now I have my marital relationship. And honestly, it's hard not to do certain things with him, because it's like I feel so attached to him. Mm-hmm. But when I do certain things for myself, I realize that I like doing things for myself, and I recognize that independence that I've always loved about myself. But I feel like if I do
that's what. Go ahead and finish.
No. So what
I was about to say that. What do you, now that you don't have Warren that's attached to you at the hip? Yeah. What are you doing to find yourself as a woman? Because when you had Warren, you were a young lady, and through your going to your adulthood, you still had Warren. Now, how are you finding yourself as a woman now that Warren is out the house?
Honestly, it's been an experience, because for the longest I've looked at myself as that 17-year-old mom. And honestly, like, I just really recently looked in the mirror and I'm like, dang, girl, you really getting older. You are not that same person anymore. So, and when he went away initially, I was like, whoa, I have all this free time. Like, I'm an empty nester. Like, I want to do this. I want to do that. We started the podcast. I started to get more into the photo with Scoot. And I was like, well, I have all of this time on my hands. This is really what I wanted to do before I even had him. Like, I wanted to just do what I wanted to do, be at my own graces and be at my own will, and just do that. So it's a good feeling. Sometimes it's a little jarring, because I still like, I'm still mom, and I'm still, even like with Scoot, like, I still want to attach myself to like the things that he does. But I know if I do, then I'm going to be too dependent on him. And I know if I don't, then that can cause like a really big separation, because I'm going to be the person who just do what I want to do, and not just really, I don't want to say not care about what he wants or what he needs.
But I think we've spoken about how guys really want us to need them. Yeah. And how it's difficult to find our independence and then also be dependent on a man. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think that's a balance that we have to find as married women. That's the balance that we have to find. Sometimes it can cause a rift in the relationship, and then you just have to reevaluate the things that you're doing to cause that rift. Right. And then it's like, okay, well, if I'm doing too much of me and it's causing a rift over here, okay, let me do a little bit less of me. That's just.
But see, I don't feel like that should be a compromise. I don't think that should be a compromise. Only because you should be okay with me doing me. I would be okay with you doing you. I don't feel, if I don't neglect my responsibilities, and if we don't have this conversation, then I just don't feel like I should be able to dim what I'm doing in order to
appease you.
Yeah, because then I'm going to be unhappy. Right. And then if I'm unhappy, I'm going to be passive aggressive with you, and I'm going to give you the cold shoulder. And then we both going to be in here walking past each other like, I dare you to bump me, because we're going to fight. I dare you, stupid. Right.
I'm so weak. But yeah, that's something something you really have to think about as far as dating yourself, because some people don't have that single season. Some people has always been in a relationship. And I think women that are single need to understand that they need to appreciate their singledom, because when they get in that relationship, then everything you had, all that freedom to get to know yourself, to travel, to be whatever you want to be, when you want to be, how you want to be, it goes away.
I was about to say, don't say it goes away, because you can still keep that, but there has to be some compromise. Like, your man probably is not going to want you to travel 4 times out of the year when you guys may be talking about a relationship or a family down the line. So you're gonna have to save some of that money. So you can't take but maybe 2 trips a year with your friends. Just pick one, maybe a birthday trip and then a girls trip, whatever. But you don't ever have to compromise and give up who you are, and still learn who you are in any relationship that you go into, with any friendship, with any romantic relationship. Just continue to date yourself, to continue to know who you are, continue to manifest the person that you want to be and the person that you want to be with, and the relationships that you want.
One thing that I love that you did, that I need to do, I keep saying I'm going to do it, is your vision board.
Yeah.
Like that is, ladies, like whoever's listening, we need to do a vision board. Why do we need to? Because we need to sometimes you need to see it. In our mind, it's so cloudy. We can say, oh, we want children one day. Oh, I want this this car. Oh, I want this beautiful home. Oh, I want this relationship. Oh, I want this type of career. But when you see it in front of you, you're able to look at it and say, God, this is what I want. And you've already showed it to him, and you're going to manifest it every day. Every day you look at it, you see it, you're manifesting it. You're speaking it into your life and claiming it.
And you're working towards it. And you're not just speaking it. Your faith without works is dead. So we already know that. So
I often hear that people that do vision boards, they say maybe a year after they look at it, they're like, God dog it, I didn't check this, and I didn't check that, and I didn't check this. And I didn't even notice that I checked it.
I kind of want to recycle my vision board from last year, but I'm gonna add a few little things onto it, because there are some different visions that I have for 2021. 2020 has been so difficult on so many different fronts, but I think 2021, I don't even think, I know 2021 is going to be the most magnificent year for here until eternity. So, but vision boards, yes. I can't wait to see your vision board.
I know. I can't wait. I already know. I can't. Look, I'm probably going to, once I finish it, I'll share them out. 2 Dope Girls.
Yes. Bring it over when we come back, when we reconvene. We might be able to do a little vision board after.
I know. That's what we need to do, because, if I have to do it here.
I wanted to say hi. Say hey. No, you don't do that. Say hey. Look at LaDonna.
I didn't call
Metro.
She didn't mean that. Metro. I did it. Look. Pop.
Say hi. Okay, bye-bye. Love you.
I love it. But yes, we'll have to do that. Yes, because if I have to do it here, glue would be everywhere. The baby will take something to run. So I would need to get out of my comfort zone to do the vision board, because it will not go well here.
I think it might go well.
Well, I'll try it. I'll try at least to start.
Okay, we'll try that to start.
Yes. Yeah, but I think really putting it into the forefront, what will make you happy, because I truly believe happiness starts with you. And how can you find happiness if you don't date yourself?
You got to know who you are. You got to know who you want to attract. You got to know what you want to accept in your life. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Don't compromise, because there is someone who is willing to make those adjustments for you. Okay? Agree? LaDonna over there.
I wanted to give a definition on dating. Because maybe that's important when people think
Okay.
about dating themselves. Like, what the hell does that mean? How do I date myself? So it says dating is a stage of romantic relationships in humans, not with another person necessarily, whereby two people meet socially with the aim of each assessing the other's stability as a prospective partner in an intimate relationship. It is a form of courtship. This is still with you, consisting of social activities with your daggum self done by you, either alone or with others.
So you can date yourself. You can date alone.
It's on Google, y'all. Date yourself.
Okay, so let me ask you a question.
Okay.
What attributes do you find in yourself that are date worthy?
Everything.
Okay, well then there you have it. You guys, LaDonna is all encompassing. She is it. There you go.
So after you've done the important part, the hard part with finding yourself, with loving on yourself, with becoming one with yourself as a woman, how do you become? Are you dateable? Do
Are
you feel like
you?
you're dateable?
I
What are your attributes, Grace? What
like I'm
about you
dateable.
is like bomb?
Well, I am romantic.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a optimist. I'm like the personal hype man. I feel like I am. Like
Yeah.
I feel like I could be a confidant. It's like you can tell me anything and I won't tell a soul.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can always count on me. I'm
Mm-hmm.
dependable. But I do
Particularly,
have some sides that I'm like, I would not like I'm a goofball. I'm adventurous. I love to like get out there and explore the world. But I got some sides that I wouldn't be like, I don't want to
what
be.
are they? What are your sides? You crazy, Grace?
I'm a little crazy. Just a little bit. Oh, sometimes I could be a little irrational. Who'd have thought me irrational?
That is so funny.
I don't know. For me, who's gonna kill the bugs? I don't like bugs. If I dated me, like we both can't be screaming. I'm serious. Like we can't be screaming.
I honestly, if somebody dated me, they would have to be a total man's man. Cause I'm not gonna put anything together. I'm not gonna get on the grill. You're not gonna see me
Mhm.
grilling. Like
That's what I want. I like
I,
that.
I want like a total, like if my car breaks down, it took me the longest to stop calling my dad. Like my husband he would be like, dude, you're totally married now. Like call me. And I'd be like, oh my bad.
So, what part about you would be most attractive to another partner? So, if you were dating yourself,
Mhm.
what part about you would be the most attractive part?
I think I'm an all around girl. Like I can kick it with the dudes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm super girly. I love fashion. So I that part is is cool. I'm very spiritual. I'm emotional. I love to love. I love to make sure you feel loved.
Mm-hmm.
Um I come from a great home. So I have seen a family aspect. So you're going to get that role from me. Like
Okay.
if I cook, I'm gonna fix your plate. I'm gonna love on the
You gonna let
kids.
somebody else fix his plate?
Absolutely not. And I wish you would. Yeah, if I fix my man plate, it's gonna be a problem. Yeah. My mama maybe can if I'm
Nope,
like
not even
teaching my
mama.
kids.
Mm-mm.
Because well, see,
You gonna
I
wait
have
after them
small
kids eat.
children.
That's okay. Wait.
So my babies have and usually he waits. He always waits. But if my mom get up and she'll be like, would you like me to go ahead and fix your plate? And he'll say, sure. And I wouldn't mind that. But as for another woman, just say we're at a friend's giving and the couples are there and I'm getting my plate, and which would never happen because I will always get my husband plate first. But
Right.
just say I'm getting my plate and another one be like, you want me to fix Sean plate? Bitch, I wish you would.
First of all, why you asking?
Why?
Why are you asking?
You know. So yes.
Chop you dead in your goddamn throat.
Right here. So
audacity.
Yeah. I mean, I like sports. I played sports, so I give you a little bit of the tomboy side. I'm super adventurous. Like I love outdoor activities. I like to get up and do things. But I'm also fun, and I can sense your energy.
Right.
If
So
you
what part about you think you wouldn't like in yourself or would not be dateable? Come on.
I play off of energy. If you ever give me bad energy,
yes,
I'm going to give you bad energy back. And that means, you know how some men can disconnect from a woman? I'm not that woman that's going to be like, oh my God, where are you going? Don't go. Oh my God. I'm going to be like, all right. So I have to work on the fighting for what I want aspect.
Yeah.
That's something that I definitely can work on.
Okay. I get that part.
And I could definitely cook more. Okay.
You're just gonna go ahead and admit it. I can cook a little bit more.
All right. I can cook more. That is so cute.
It's so funny.
What are some tips that you would give a woman on dating herself?
Oh man. I would say always make sure that you are a priority.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you can sacrifice and you can have give or takes, but make sure that you know your heart knows and don't budge on that. Like
right.
when you're like even when you're dating yourself, like if you know that you want to put yourself on a budget, put yourself on a budget and be like, this is a hard no, I'm not going to spend this money. If you're dating another person and you're like, I don't like people who smoke, that is a hard no. I don't care how fine he is. I don't care how good the dick is.
I agree.
A hard no. Be okay with your hard no's. What about you? What advice would you give?
I would tell them that this is the time that you need to be selfish. Go on that trip that you want to go on, read that book that you want to read, quit that job that you hate, follow your dreams. Take yourself to that expensive restaurant and get that surf and turf that we were talking about last week.
Tasha,
Yes, like just be okay with knowing and loving on yourself, whether that I'm going to be a little nasty, whether that's knowing down there, what turns you on down there, what spots you like to be hit. Just fully knowing what you want,
what you like, and being okay with saying that. Do not hold back on saying what you want, how you want it, in the way that you want it, and have no, I mean, you can be tactful in what you do and what you say, but just always be vocal.
Trust yourself. Like when you put trust in other people, they're always going to disappoint you. So you have to first trust God, then trust yourself. Like the self-doubt in our peers, like it has to go, because I feel like God has given us discernment. And if he has not given you discernment, like you need to pray for it and trust that gut feeling that first of all, you're enough. You're worth everything. That you're worth all your desires, everything that God has for you, every blessing that he has for you. And you just go with it. Stop doubting. We have to stop doubting what the things that we want, the choices that we make.
Right.
Make your hard nose hard.
Hard nose hard.
Yes.
Hard nose hard. Like just stick to your hard nose.
Make your loud yeses yes. Like, or make your loud yeses loud, rather. Do and whatever makes you happy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so That's it. You would date yourself. 84%. You would date
84%.
yourself.
I would definitely date
I'm
myself.
81%.
Yeah, we're dateable.
Well, I'm dateable.
We're fuckable and dateable.
Hey, that's all. I guess that's all our husbands could ask for, right?
Right. I mean, I guess.
Okay, so now we are going to get into girlfriend talk. So this girlfriend talk, hey, I love girlfriends. I just can't get enough. Like if anybody knows me, they know that I love girlfriends and I love Sex in the City, the white version. Like I am Joan Carol Clayton and I am Carrie Bradshaw all into one. Fight me. I dare you because that's who I am. Whatever. Right. Okay, so season 4, episode 22. We're gonna talk about this episode. So Lynn starts dating Jalen, which is Maya's neighbor, and Maya's like little fling thing when she
first moved in, he was like her little
neighbor.
Yeah,
she used him to try to make Darnell jealous too.
She did. He hit it.
He hit it, yeah. He hit it first. Well, not first, but he hit it. But so Lynn is now like with Jalen. Yeah. Right. So let me ask you a question. Do you think it's okay to date or be in a relationship with someone, your friend? Like your good friend, because Maya and Lynn are good friends.
They are.
Has been intimate with. Like, do you think that's okay?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Girl, a chick would. Like, it's a code. It's a code. It's too many men in the world to recycle within our circle. Don't recycle.
First of all, okay, men, I think they're just going to do whatever they want to do.
Mm-hmm. They're going to eat it up.
So they're not going to care that these two are friends. You girls should know better. Why would you do that? And
Maya was like, look, I like him. I saw him first. That's that Caucasian coming out of, black girls. We don't do that. We don't.
Bitch, you better not mess with him.
I wish you would.
It's not even a question. What you want to ask
him?
What?
I don't even want him. Huh? But you better not mess with him.
Okay.
Okay. I'm just saying, like, there's a girlfriend code. Like, just like I think the guys have a guy code. Like if she, what was off Ray J? She's some of the homies. You remember that they made a song out of it?
Was she fuck the homies?
Something like that. You remember the little mix girl? Girl, yes. I can't.
I don't remember that.
But yeah, they don't want you to go in the whole crew like that. Like they're not gonna wipe you up if you've already been with somebody out the crew. Now you may have I've had a couple of instances where I know some guys that has allowed this, but I also know that the guy that had her first is looking at both of them like, y'all weird as fuck. Like
very weird. Like you don't know anybody else. No, don't do it. But first of all, Lynn is not settling down with anybody.
No, she's too eccentric for that.
She's just like, okay, he's great sex, so he's a good time, he's good energy. I want to give my energy to his energy and let's create some energy.
Right.
But I don't even know why. I mean, but in that instance where, Maya, she's not going to have a relationship with him. Lynn is not going to have a relationship with him. There are not going to be any long-term relationships in that scenario. Is it still okay?
Absolutely not. And I cannot believe that Maya being like from Crenshaw, I think that was where she was from, right?
Where is she from? I don't know where she's from. I don't know. She's from the hood. Maya be lying anyway.
She knew better when Lynn asked her, because Lynn came right out. She didn't go behind her back. She asked her, "Hey girl, how would you feel about if I talk to Jalen? I like him."
Right.
I was like, well, girl, have fun, do you. Now, because I can see where if we're in and the guy passes through, like just say me and you are we're good friends, right? If you talk to a guy and it was so minute, so small, and you guys pass through, but then I meet him in another, instant, and we kind of connect. Like you said, our energy matched. How would you feel about that? Like, would you be okay with that because he passed through you, or
pass through meaning like having sex? Is that what you mean?
I mean, I don't know. It may have mean
pass through. I mean, pass through to me means like we connected intimately. If we connected intimately, I don't know, because honestly, the adult me will understand. The adult me would be like, have at it. Like, he's really great in bed. He does this one little thing. Just mind you, you might have to be special to get that. But but honestly, the adult me right now would not care, because if it was something serious, I would express that. I would be like, look, I really, really, really liked him. And I would appreciate it if you don't go down that road.
Yes.
But it's up to you to respect that or not.
Right. But in their instance, I think it was Maya's fault. Lynn came to her like a woman, asked her about it, and Maya should have said, even though I don't see a relationship with him, I really like him, and I would mind if you
don't do it. Yeah.
So to me, this time, I know, Lynn can be a little trashy a little bit, but this time
not trashy. I love Lynn.
I love Lynn too, but eccentric self.
Lynn is like the Samantha of Sex and the City. They're both the sexual people. Yeah.
Don't care who, when, where, how.
Just give it to me.
Yes. Yes. So I mean, I think that's a difference. If we just kind of played a couple of years ago and it was nothing serious, then yes, you're right. I would not mind for my friend to go ahead and have that relationship, because it may be something great for her.
Yeah.
But if I really liked him at one time, and often maybe he runs across my mind, even though we didn't work, I would definitely mind.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. Let's just say, because you gave the scenario, what if it were you and I? So what if you did get with one of my exes and you guys have this great relationship, and now you guys are getting married, but you know that we had a good sexual relationship? Would you feel comfortable with me being around your fiance, soon to be husband?
Absolutely. If I trust you as a friend, I would. Yeah. Yep. Okay. And you'll be right there next to me when we get married. Yep. You'll be right there next to me. Like, I mean, if you've given me the good, like, go ahead, girl, he's yours, you got it, and you shown, like, now, hold up now. Now we're gonna be real transparent and real for a second here. Okay. When you've given me your good graces, I started dating him. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you guys in a situation where you have to interact. If I see chemistry when you're interacting, then he's a no-go for me.
Okay, see, with me, that's not a good thing, because I'm always going to have chemistry with anyone that I interact with, whether it be male or female. So I'm not going to be like, ooh, don't talk to me. Ooh, communicate. It's not going to be like no romantic chemistry, but there's always going to be
that. That's what I'm saying.
What does romantic chemistry look like to you?
If we didn't have sex and you didn't put me in the room with a guy I had sex with, all of a sudden you get what?
Oh, okay, like flirtatious kind of stuff. Okay, yeah. But then, like, if you knew the person, you would know better than.
No, if it's like and then y'all kind of move on, then that's cool. But if it's any type of flirtation, type of energy, no, he got to go.
He got to go.
You see what I said there? He got to go, not my friend.
Well, you know what? Because Honestly, if your friend does not feed off that energy, the guy should definitely not even give into any past relationship. But I don't know, like I wouldn't want to be in the same area as someone who was intimate with my husband. I just really would not want to.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, we gonna fight unless it's like the mother of his kids. We're gonna fight. We're not really gonna
Y'all,
fight. I'm just
y'all get too
joking.
crazy.
We're not gonna fight, but I don't know. That just would make me feel
She,
uncomfortable.
she'll have me fighting. Okay, she'll have me locked up, and if
Somebody
I'm
got to
not
put bail up, so I don't know.
somebody, it won't be me
It'll
because
be
I'm
our
be
loyal. It'll be our loyal listeners. You guys will at least put a
absolutely.
dollar up on Cash App. At least a
You
dollar or
know,
two. That'll give me
just
my
take
ten
care of
percent.
us,
What is it?
y'all.
10%? 15%?
Hmm.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah, but yes, I think for me, the whole situation, it could work, but it depends on the type of relationship that me and the guy had.
Yeah,
And for Grace, it sounds like it's going to be a no.
it's a no.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
like it.
no, I'm not lying. I'm lying. It would be a yes. You can date. You can date him. I don't care.
But am I
I
going
would
to be
say
getting
yes.
crazy looks for you from you?
No, I mean, if I liked him, if I loved him, if I still felt a sexual connection and chemistry to him, then I would tell you because
Okay. Yes.
I'm
Communication.
not about to be looking at him in his little sweatpants and be like,
Yes.
hey, I remember
Take
that.
picture, man. What? Taking pictures with you? I'm gonna feel some type of way.
Hey, I'll have
Yeah.
to pull up an old one and be like, hey, you remember this? Remember
Yeah.
I sent you this? See, I don't want to be doing that. So I will definitely tell you
Yeah.
which one is a
Yes.
no-go.
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. That was good. I like that episode. It
I
was like,
did. I
and you
did.
know, in that episode, that's when William started to have this thing for Joan. It was
That was
cute.
always so weird to me.
I know. But I
William.
can see him and Joan because they're both weird.
Yeah, I know we had talked about this before, and I'm getting off on a little tangent, but we had talked about before whether or not we would date William. And the more I watch Girlfriends, I'm like, I think I really would date William.
I'm telling you.
I think so. Like he seems
Yeah.
like a really charming. I'm
Uh-huh.
goofy. Like we could be goofy and playing games together and just
Right.
like getting dressed or like caroling, like him and Joan or
Right.
whatever. But I would date William right now.
She definitely likes the things that he likes, and that's why they get along so great.
Yes.
That's why I can really see them together. And of
Really
course,
still?
I could see them together. Even though she had already placed him in the friend zone, and it's hard to get a guy out of the friend zone that you've already placed in the friend zone.
Mm, I
I mean,
guess.
if you place them in
I
the
think
friend
you
zone,
can take them out if you want to take them out of the friend
if you want
zone.
to take them out, but if you place them unintentionally, place them in a friend zone from the first time you guys met, it's going to be difficult taking them out. It's going to have something that shifts in you guys'
Well, it
relationship.
depends. Like, was it a mutual friend zoning? Like, was it just
Yeah,
me putting you in the friend zone and you liking me, or was it you putting me in the friend zone and I like
I like
you?
you. Yeah, that's true.
And then like something changed, we grew up, we like had the sexual chemistry. I mean, it's a lot that could go on there, but
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
anyway, that was girlfriend talk. That was a good
Yes,
one.
it was. It was a
Don't
good
date
one.
my man. Don't mess with my
With my
man.
man,
I'ma be
I'm
the
gonna
one
be
to bring
the
it
one to
to
bring it
you.
to you. Yes, girls and my man. Yes, you better come on, girl.
Look, you put a microphone in front of me. I'm gonna sing. I don't even care if I know how to
Come
because
on,
I
karaoke. Come
don't.
on.
Do
That's
we
so
have
funny.
karaoke here? We need to go to karaoke.
There used to be one on Green Springs. I'm not sure if it's still open, but
Oh,
I
was it at that
used to go
Mexican
there.
restaurant?
I think it was a Mexican restaurant.
Yeah, yep. You know what? Me
You
and
know,
Ashley went. Me and Ashley
really?
went one time.
Okay.
I didn't do karaoke, but her boyfriend did karaoke, and this fool could sing.
Really?
Yes, I
That's
was
dope.
impressed. I was very
That's dope.
impressed. But I probably still won't do karaoke. It got to be in like
Yeah,
in a little hood nightclub for me to sing karaoke.
I gotta be like tipsy.
10 sheets to the wind, tipsy.
Right. To get up there and embarrass myself.
I will get up there and embarrass myself whether I'm drunk or not. So,
That is so
you guys
funny.
looking for a good time in the karaoke partner? Here I am. Thank you. Okay, so hey, dope girls. First off, I tune to you ladies every week, and I love the podcast and what you ladies are discussing. Thank you. My question is, when dating or in a relationship with someone, how long before you become comfortable going to the bathroom around that person?
Ooh.
Mm. So, do you do the number two in front of your boo? And if so, how
You know what? That
soon?
is a good one because I don't want
Is
you unless I
it?
don't want you unless I can be me totally. If I can't have a, do a number two at some point, not right off, not
But
after
how
the first month.
soon?
I think after, if we ever get to the point where we are doing extended stays together, maybe going on trips. Because what am I going to do? Am I going to go to the hotel lobby bathroom?
No.
Right.
That
You
is the
better
most
bring a
uncomfortable
super.
thing. Like, what do you do? Where do
You
you
better
go? Like,
you
I'll
bring
meet
a
you downstairs.
right. You done woke up at 6 o'clock trying to push it. No, no. If he cannot like be okay with you having to do the number two, sis, he is not it. Because I'm not going to, let me tell you something, I'm not going to fake life. I'm not going to wake up before you and put makeup on. Like when I wake up, that's what you're gonna get. So I want to be able to fully be myself.
don't know. I don't know. Like, I feel like there should be some level of discretion. Like, I don't want to. I don't
So what you're saying
know.
is you don't poop in front of Scoop. Oh, that rhymes.
I do now. Like, we've been together for
Right.
almost 11 years,
So
but
are you saying that you're not supposed to poop until you
well,
get
I'm not even
married?
gonna lie. I probably had not because first of all, we were dating long distance.
Okay.
So when we did see each other, I didn't have to use the bathroom around him because we were seeing each other in New Orleans and I lived in New Orleans.
Yeah.
But when we went on vacation, my young body was able to hold it in for however long. So I didn't never had a bowel movement on vacation. I promise you. When I would get home, like my body, promise you, I could be on
That is
vacation for
hilarious.
a week and my body will stop. Like it will just be like out of commission until I get on the plane. My body knows, and then I'm like, I'm headed straight home. I'm telling you.
Wow. So what happened when he got the first grace poop in front of him? Like, I gotta know this. Like,
I don't know.
what did he say?
I
He
still
did
don't
say,
poop in
"Oh my
front of
God!"
him. I don't.
Like
I'm a
me and my
lady.
spouse, we would have conversations with each other while we're pooping. Like I cannot be with a man if he feels a certain way about pooping around me or me pooping around
Well,
him.
he doesn't feel a certain way. I would go
Yeah,
into the bathroom and have a whole conversation with him. I would open the door to the little toilet
exactly.
area and have a conversation with him.
Exactly.
And I'd be like, give me a kiss, and I'll hold my breath,
Yeah.
but me, no, you give me my privacy. I would be really upset if you walk into the bathroom with me.
Especially while we're on our cycle.
Yeah,
Like, give
like
me my privacy, please.
stay out. Like,
Stay
do I need
away.
to put like some police tape around the
I
door or
mean,
something?
caution. Beep, beep, beep. Like, go away. And please don't come back until 3 or 4 days.
Exactly.
Whew,
The
that is,
end.
or you know what I was thinking? Like, when you first get married
Yeah.
and you get a home together, like you as you can tell, I've thought about some of these things.
Yes.
Do you like go into the guest room and poop or the guest
No.
room and poop?
Mm-mm. I never did. We do now. It's crazy. We do now only
Yeah.
because we're on two different spaces when we're
Yeah.
working. But before, no,
Oh,
you just give
that's
me my
not.
space.
Yeah. Girl, listen, you will know when it's okay to poop in front of him. When he in front of you, I think
That's the go
yeah, that's
ahead.
the go ahead. Like if he's ever like, oh babe, my stomach is off the chain. And then,
Right.
or maybe you can have that conversation with him before it even gets there.
Like,
Like,
what do you think about women
what do you
at
think about I think that's a conversation that he will be happy to have with you.
right? I think so too. So it's okay to poop because y'all might go to a restaurant and he might invite you over to his house. And honestly, just ask him if he has more than one bathroom.
And
And then you'll be
always,
good.
always, 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 ladies. I know we talked about this on the
Carry your
Always
wipes.
Ready. Carry your wipes, sis. Carry
Carry
your
your
wipes.
wipes. And you don't have to worry about that.
Nope.
And carry some poopery, I guess.
Poopery. And get you a little spray, a little, to spray your little self down so you don't have any residue of what you just did.
No remnants.
Right. I'm just saying, we're just trying to get you through
He'll
some
be like,
difficult times.
what's that smell? No, ain't no smell.
Oh my God. Thank you so much.
I'm
for
so
your
done with you.
question. Like that was a good
Yes,
question.
that was.
Nobody really
People need
thinks
to
about that.
know.
That was a good question. Thank you.
Okay, yes, thanks, girl. We appreciate you. We love you too.
Yes. Gracie, I know this was not ideal for us.
It wasn't
But
your fault.
I know I appreciate you being able to, do this with me.
That's okay. I'm glad you had fun.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Where can these people find us, girl?
I don't know. You tell me. I'm
I
just
don't even know
joking.
what's our
I'm just joking. You can find me at
Dope
Grace
Girls.
Face with 2 underscores at on IG.
And I'm naturally pretty on IG.
Yes, and if you guys have any more questions that you want to ask us, you can hit us up at ask2dopegirls@gmail.com. That's ASK, the number 2, dopegirls@gmail.com. We're at 2dopegirlspod on IG and Facebook and YouTube. Find us at 2dopegirls.
Yes. Hey, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.
Yes, and also you guys
Hit that little
hit that little subscribe button.
that
But
little
also
thing.
too, we still want to tell you guys to be safe. COVID is still real.
It's real.
Please be safe. Please put your mask on. That's the least you can do. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Until
Enjoy,
next
and
time.
Dope Girls out.
Bye, you guys.
Dope girl, dope the dope girls. Dope girls, dope the dope girls. Dope, dope, dope the dope girl. Dope the dope